Ellis Island is a historical site that opened in 1892 as an immigration station, a purpose it served for more than 60 years until it closed in 1954. Located at the mouth of Hudson River between New York and New Jersey, Ellis Island saw millions of newly arrived immigrants pass through its doors. In fact, it has been estimated that close to 40% of all current U.S. citizens can trace at least one of their ancestors to Ellis Island. Ellis Island is a small island located in the upper New York Bay, near the mouth of the Hudson River in the United States. It holds immense historical significance as the primary gateway for millions of immigrants who arrived in America between 1892 and 1954. Serving as the nation's busiest immigrant inspection station, Ellis Island processed and admitted people seeking a new life and opportunities in the United States. Today, Ellis Island is a national museum of immigration, preserving the stories and experiences of those who journeyed to America in pursuit of the American dream. It serves as a poignant reminder of the nation's immigrant roots and the contributions made by generations of newcomers. Immigrant Experience: explore the rich history of American immigration and experience the journey that millions of immigrants took to reach the United States. Gain insights into their stories, challenges, and dreams. Historic Landmark: step foot in a designated UNESCO World Heritage Site that served as the primary gateway for immigrants from 1892 to 1954. Immerse yourself in the preserved buildings and grounds that witnessed countless arrivals. Museum Exhibits: discover engaging museum exhibits that showcase personal artifacts, photographs, and interactive displays, offering a glimpse into the immigrant experience. Genealogy Resources: uncover your own family's immigration history at the American Family Immigration History Center. Access passenger records, ship manifests, and embark on a personal journey of discovery. Ellis Island holds a fascinating history that spans centuries and represents a significant chapter in American immigration. The island, originally known as Kiosk by the Lenape tribe, was later renamed Ellis Island in honor of its previous owner, Samuel Ellis. The immigration era of Ellis Island began in 1892 when it opened as the main entry point for millions of immigrants seeking a new life in America. The federal government decided to establish a centralized immigration processing center to regulate the influx of newcomers. On January 1, 1892, the first immigrant to pass through Ellis Island was Annie Moore, a 15-year-old Irish girl. The main building, designed by Edward Lippincott Tilton, opened in 1900 after the original wooden structures were destroyed in a fire. It became a symbol of hope and opportunity for millions. From 1892 to 1954, Ellis Island processed over 12 million immigrants, including individuals from various countries, such as Italy, Ireland, Germany, and Eastern Europe. Immigrants underwent medical examinations, legal inspections, and interviews to determine their eligibility for entry into the United States. While Ellis Island served as a gateway to the American dream, it also witnessed periods of challenges and changes. The Immigration Act of 1924 imposed stricter immigration quotas, leading to a decline in immigration through Ellis Island. During World War II, Ellis Island served as a detention and deportation center for enemy aliens. After 1954, the island's role as an immigration station came to an end, and the buildings fell into disrepair. In the 1980s, extensive restoration efforts revitalized Ellis Island, and the main building was transformed into the Ellis Island National Museum of Immigration, which opened in 1990. Today, Ellis Island stands as a significant historical landmark, preserving the stories, struggles, and triumphs of generations of immigrants who helped shape the multicultural fabric of the United States. It serves as a poignant reminder of the nation's immigrant heritage and the enduring spirit of those who sought a better life on American shores. The main building of Ellis Island, known as the Ellis Island Immigration Station, was designed by the architectural firm of Boring and Tilton. The principal architect responsible for the design was Edward Lippincott Tilton. Construction of the main building began in 1900, replacing the original wooden structures that were destroyed by fire in 1897. Tilton's design incorporated elements of the French Renaissance Revival architectural style, giving the building its distinctive appearance. The construction of additional buildings on Ellis Island was carried out by various architects and contractors over the years to accommodate the growing number of immigrants. Main building: the main building of Ellis Island, designed by architect Edward Lippincott Tilton, exhibits elements of the French Renaissance Revival style. The building features a red brick facade, intricate detailing, and ornate ironwork. Its grandeur and imposing presence symbolized the significance of Ellis Island as a gateway to the United States. The Ellis Island National Immigration Museum is located within the main building. Main Hall: the central hall of the main building is the Great Hall, which served as the primary processing area for immigrants. It boasts a high, vaulted ceiling adorned with decorative plasterwork, large arched windows, and a tiled floor. The Great Hall provided a spacious and awe-inspiring entry point for immigrants arriving at Ellis Island. Additional buildings: over the years, Ellis Island expanded with the construction of additional buildings to accommodate the growing influx of immigrants. These buildings were designed in various architectural styles, reflecting the evolving needs and aesthetics of the time. Island layout: the overall layout of Ellis Island includes a central axis with buildings flanking the main pathway. The organization of structures created a functional and efficient flow for the processing of immigrants, while also showcasing the architectural design of the complex. Restorations: following years of neglect and deterioration, extensive restoration efforts were undertaken in the 1980s to revitalize Ellis Island. The restoration aimed to preserve and recreate the architectural elements and historical features of the buildings, ensuring the authenticity and integrity of the site. The architectural elements of Ellis Island, with its mix of styles and the grandeur of the main building, contribute to the historical significance and visual appeal of this iconic landmark. Ellis Island is a small island located in the upper New York Bay, near the mouth of the Hudson River. It served as the primary immigration station in the United States from 1892 to 1954. Ellis Island is located in the upper New York Bay, close to the Statue of Liberty. To reach Ellis Island, you can take a ferry from Battery Park in Lower Manhattan, New York City or Liberty State Park in New Jersey. It is possible to visit Ellis Island without going to the Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island are separate attractions, but they are often visited together due to their close proximity. However, if you wish to visit only Ellis Island, you can take a ferry directly to Ellis Island from Battery Park or Liberty State Park. Ellis Island is a historical site that opened in 1892 as an immigration station, a purpose it served for more than 60 years until it closed in 1954. Located at the mouth of Hudson River between New York and New Jersey, Ellis Island saw millions of newly arrived immigrants pass through its doors. In fact, it has been estimated that close to 40% of all current U.S. citizens can trace at least one of their ancestors to Ellis Island. When Ellis Island opened, a great change was taking place in U.S. immigration. Fewer arrivals were coming from Northern and Western Europe, Germany, Ireland, Britain, and the Scandinavian countries as more and more immigrants poured in from Southern and Eastern Europe. Among this new generation were Jews escaping from political and economic oppression in Tsarist Russia and Eastern Europe, and Italians escaping poverty in their country. There were also Poles, Hungarians, Czechs, Serbs, Slovaks, and Greeks, along with non-Europeans from Syria, Turkey, and Armenia. The reasons they left their homes in the Old World included war, drought, famine, and religious persecution, and all had hopes for greater opportunity in the New World. After an arduous sea voyage, immigrants arriving at Ellis Island were tagged with information from their ship's registry. They then waited on long lines for medical and legal inspections to determine if they were fit for entry into the United States. From 1900 to 1914, the peak years of Ellis Island's operation, an average of 1,900 people passed through the immigration station every day. Most successfully passed through in a matter of hours, but others could be detained for days or weeks. Many immigrants remained in New York, while others traveled by barge to railroad stations in Hoboken or Jersey City, New Jersey, on their way to destinations across the country. Passage of the Emergency Quota Act of 1921 and the National Origins Act of 1924, which limited the number and nationality of immigrants allowed into the United States, effectively ended the era of mass immigration into New York City. At this point, the smaller number of immigrants began to be processed on their arriving ships, with Ellis Island serving primarily as a temporary detainment center. From 1925 to the closing of Ellis Island in 1954, only 2.3 million immigrants passed through the New York City port, which still represented more than half of all those entering the United States. Ellis Island opened to the public in 1976. Today, visitors can tour the Ellis Island Museum of Immigration in the restored main arrivals hall and trace their ancestors through millions of immigrant arrival records made available to the public in 2001. In this way, Ellis Island remains a central destination for millions of Americans seeking a glimpse into the history of their country, and in many cases, into their own family's story. On January 1, 1892, teenager Annie Moore from County Cork, Ireland, became the first person admitted to the new immigration station on Ellis Island. On that opening day, she received a greeting from officials and a $10 gold piece. Annie traveled to New York with her two younger brothers on steerage aboard the SS Nevada, which left Queenstown, now Cobite, Ireland, on December 20, 1891 and arrived in New York on the evening of December 31. After being processed, the children were reunited with their parents, who were already living in New York. Thank you for watching this video.